What's up, everyone? This first episode is brought to you by Sternhart St Collective, changing the way people connect with their cinematography needs, providing different styles of videography and photography, all while creating a path for those looking to expand their skill sets. Be sure to give them a follow on Instagram at Sternhart St. Also, check out their website at www.sternhartstreet.com. They also got some dope clothes on the way. Be on the lookout.
Hey guys, welcome to our podcast. This is Co-Flop Gaming, episode 1, the first flop. And this is going to be about average Joes infatuated with gaming, all aspects that come with it, and how it connects to our daily lives. I'm one of your hosts, Augie, also known as Don Pachis.
And I am also your second host, player number 2. I'm Eric, aka Tallej. So, how'd you come up with Don Pachis?
So Don Pachis, I mean, it's a very long story behind that name. So my mom would always call me Pachis. So like it would stand for like Papi Chiquito, like because I would look like her dad. And so like that's pretty much came with it. And then one of my cousins, shout out to my boy Eddie, whoever you're at, he pretty much came up with the Don because Don's like a well-respected type of thing. Like
kind of just
culture.
Like the Don.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, so pretty much that's where Don Pachis comes from. And I just thought that was sick. And it was better than my old gamer tag, which was obviously very cringe. It was like King Killer Beast 10 or something like that. Obviously, I was in elementary school coming up with the names. So
you're telling me that your name basically means Boss Daddy. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, boss. And then Eric, how did you come up with your name, Tallej?
It's actually just my dance name.
That's
Yep.
That's pretty lame, bro. Compared to mine had like a whole ass backstory, and yours.
Well, no, mine kind of does have a backstory to it. Granted, like it's not related towards gaming or anything like that, but like how I just got the name. So my family name is EJ, and on my dance team there was 2 of us. So there was me, and then there was another friend of mine named EJ. I was the taller one, and then when we would write out our blocking and everything, they would write EJ1 and tall EJ. Then one day, my director was reading it, and he just yelled out, "Who the hell is Tallej?" Then just ever since, like that name just stuck with me. Like regardless of gaming or even just dance in general, it's just a name that just never left me, and that's why it just became my gamer tag.
Do you have any prior like gamer tag names or anything that like is very significant?
One of my gamer tags, which is actually also one of my older dance names, which is just, I think it was Ghost Boy 415.
415. I'm guessing that's the area code for where you lived at.
No, it was just the area code where I was born.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just it started off with Maple Story. My cousin gave me that name, and that was my first gamer tag. All right. So, like we talked about, when it comes to co-flop gaming, we talk about all aspects of games. So, one of the first categories that we're actually going to talk about is just video games, board games, and party games. So, the first one we're going to start off with was just some of our favorite like board games and card games that we had back in the day. My personal favorite has always been Uno, specifically Uno Flip. The difference when it comes to Uno Flip is just the same, but then the difference is there's a 2-sided card, and it brings more strategy into it. And the reason I liked it is because like I'm a petty player when it comes to Uno in general. Like I can make strategies where I could have you on my team, then just so I could screw you over later. And the good thing about Uno Flip, if you have the card that can flip it to the other side, you can look at everybody's hands, and right when you're ready to flip, you flip it just so it plays into your favor.
Jesus. I mean, we played like Uno before in our group, in our chat. We have a Discord. We actually play games and stuff. I actually played Uno all together one time. And how long did that game last? The game lasted pretty long, didn't it?
That one single game, I think it lasted us about 2 hours, and like we didn't even really want to play. We were just like, let's just do one game that we don't have to think about, and that game ended up just taking 2 hours. And I just remember when we were playing it, like you guys were just all out to get me in general, and that's kind of like the reason why I like this game, is just because it brings out the competitive side of you. Like,
I mean, to be fair, we were going for our fellow companion Berna. Shout out to Berna.
Well, yeah, but then at the end, like right when we got him back up, that was when you guys noticed that I was ahead. Then the whole game just flipped towards me, and that's when we just started going back and forth.
I mean,
I think this
Uno
is.
is that type of game to like put it against.
I think
each
it's
other.
just one of those games. It's so simple, everyone can get it. But I wanted to talk to you about this. So everyone plays this game different. What do you think about the stacking rule?
The stacking rule, I think if the crowd's cool, like I feel like it should be allowed. If you got like the little butthurt people that like are very like optimistic or not optimistic about it, I would say just don't even try.
Dude, like, because I love the stacking rule. Like,
me too.
it does make the game go longer, but then it's like you establish your dominance in that game.
Yeah, no, definitely the stacking is definitely a big part in my family. That was like our favorite thing to do, and like in my family, I don't know about significantly how it was in your family, but for me, like it definitely was.
Oh no, it's definitely one of those things. What do you think also about like just when you don't have the color card? Do you just draw one card and skip your turn, or you keep drawing until you get the color?
I just keep drawing until I get the color. Sometimes I strategize it and like I try to do a +4, get a like +2.
God, you're one of those.
Yes, I'm definitely one of those.
But yeah, no, I think there's a couple different ways. I think it's when you play it, you kind of just you set. It's like any party game, like you set up house rules.
I think it definitely just sets the tone depending on like the type of person, and how they're gonna strategize. For me, I'm more on the long run because sometimes it's even funnier when I'm on the long run because they just think how many cards I have, but really I can. It's even better if you make a comeback like that.
Nice. Also, what is your guys' rule? So like, let's say if you call Uno on somebody, but then they have more than one card, how many cards do they draw?
So back in the day when, obviously when I was just a young wee lad, we would actually just get like more than 4 or 5 cards at least. But from what I've heard, it's just 2 or 3 cards, right? Is that correct?
The way I play you draw 2,
Okay.
and the same thing like, if they call Uno on you correctly, like if I had 1 card, you call Uno on me, I draw 2 cards.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So for me, a very significant game of mine that I probably grew up with was just mostly Monopoly. Doesn't matter which version. There was like Pokemon version. There was like a Dragon Ball Z version. There was like many different versions. Being like a Latin kid like me, we would always lose the pieces. So even it'd be like chip would be like a random potato chip would be one of the game pieces because it was just that bad. But no, I mean, Monopoly's been very significant with us, so it's just very competitive. Sometimes we would even like last days on it because like my family is very competitive, and we like would just keep the board where it is until that game was finished. Like no one would flip the board, no one did all that. We were very competitive at the time.
What would you say, like, how can you tell like who won? Like, this is always my question because like I just played Uno, like not Uno, Monopoly recently, right? Like I've only played it. I either play it like once a year or twice a year.
So like who would determine?
Like
the winner?
yeah, who determines the winner? Like how do you know the game's done?
So the game is done usually when you pretty much clear the board of basically like owning everything.
So
And,
it's
like,
not
that's when-
when you say
Or
fuck
when,
this
like, when
shit.
someone's bankrupt, basically. It's like if it's like 1v1, basically.
So it's not. I hate this game. Fuck you guys.
no,
Fuck
it
boards.
never got to that point. I think it's only got to that point once, and that never happened again.
I think that's every time I play.
A lot of people are just very impatient with it, and it's just like it'll get to that point, which I understand. I mean, I'll probably get to that point sometimes, and just like, you know what, this is stupid. You know, I had a cousin that would always win every time, like without fail, he would win.
Let me blow your mind. So how me, my family, and my boy would play towards the end, like when we feel like we are done with the game, we sell everything back. So all the properties you have, you'd sell it back to the bank and you get that money back. Whatever streets you have, whatever cards you have, you sell it back. Then at the end, everyone counts up their money. The one who has the highest is the winner.
That's a good way to like end it pretty well. So Monopoly's actually come up with a lot of different versions of the game, and there's like the cheating one. I don't know if you've seen that one.
No, we actually just bought it recently.
Oh, okay,
Dude,
I have
and
to try that one time.
dude, it's actually really fun. But then it's not what you think. So when you play the game, there's I think 5 or 6 cards in the middle, and it will tell you how to get away with stuff, right? Like there's a card that says take money from the bank, because you know how the bank rotates from player to player. If you take money from the bank, when you pick up the card and you look behind it, because it's double-sided, it will tell you keep all the money in the bank and everyone gives you like $10 or something like that. or there's
differently.
the
How way they explained it.
yeah, no, it's actually pretty. It's still a pretty tame game, but then like you do get farther because there's times like, like you have all these cards that you bought and you bought all these properties, but you don't have the houses for it yet, right? There's a card where if you take someone's property and put it on one of yours, then if they don't notice by the next turn, you keep their property.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like one of those things like you can get further ahead, like little by little, or like you can just sprint towards the finish line with it.
Jesus.
Yep.
I can see how games could end quicker that way.
And that's how you start fights.
See, like the only two game boards I have for Monopoly are like the regular one, obviously the classic one, right? And then there's the transaction one where they actually give you credit cards instead of actually actual cash.
I've seen that
Yeah,
one.
so I got that one because obviously with my story of losing pieces, I'm very infamous for it. We got that version just because it was a lot easier to use.
I feel like when you grow up in a household with more than one child, you're bound to lose all the pieces.
Oh, for sure.
I have never remembered any game, any board game, even just a deck of cards where I would have every piece.
Jesus. Okay.
I remember you have to use a joker piece as a king's card or as an ace card or whatever card you lost.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
So, yeah, we could definitely relate to any of those pieces being lost. You just make it up. I think my sister, what her daughter and her boyfriend does, they use Pokemon figurines when they play Monopoly now. And I saw that
people just using pops now.
and I'm just watching them. I'm just like, it's just a regular Monopoly. I was like, what happened to all your pieces? They're like, yeah, she threw them away. I was like, what?
My dad's very infamous for throwing random shit away. It's crazy.
I think it's just part of it. It's like if you don't know what it's for and it's just been in the same spot, you just throw it away. Like I do that now.
Yeah.
And I never pays well for me. I just mess it all up. I'm like, oh, that's what it was for. Yikes.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, that would be my board game. For card game wise, it's like a regular card game. I don't know if you're familiar with Speed. I mean, a lot of people would love Speed.
Speed is pretty cool.
Yeah, like it's a cool like 1v1 type of game.
I think it's just one of those things. It's just I never had the reflexes for it at the time. Like now I can play it, but it's like I never really cared for it.
So I grew up with an older brother and a younger brother, so I was the middle child for us, and obviously it was very competitive amongst the three. But we also had like cousins already opposite. That actually it was just 3v3. So basically we were all competitive amongst each other, and obviously the older brother was usually the fastest because they were older. And obviously when you're younger, like you got to be like kind of quicker, but you can never reach it like with their length and everything. I think it's just the more like the physical like enhancement that they had probably growing up. But they were like really fast. So when we would play it, they would just be like, "Street!" And I'm like, "What?" I didn't even have a chance to even react.
Like you could play any of these games, like even in like a partier setting. Like let's say like if you have a family party, or even if like you're just having some friends over.
Like Speed or
Like
Monopoly?
Speed or just Monopoly or even Uno.
I think Monopoly and Uno, are like very top tier now. I think we come to an age where it's just like most of us get bored on the phone, just like looking at random stuff and like TikTok and everything. We come to that age, but so I feel like I get even a little excited even when my little cousin invites me to go play something like a board game or a card game.
I just feel like nowadays, like in every party setting, it's like not just about eating or drinking or just socializing. Like sometimes you do need to get that competitive edge out of people. What would you think is like a really good party game?
So a really good party game. I love playing beer pong. Like that's like something I really like doing. I don't know if you probably do something like that.
I think it's like beer pong is like a universal game. Like anyone can play. Like you don't need to fully know.
Yeah.
But I will say you have to set your house rules. Like house rules for beer pong changes with people to people.
Oh, for sure.
Like there's Death Cup, of course, right?
Yes.
So if you hit Death Cup, it automatically means you're out of the game, right?
Yeah.
So have you ever played where it's like re-rack and there's no rebuttals?
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't know that rule for some reason.
That's crazy.
So there's games where whoever I'm playing with, we don't re-rack and we hit every single cup, and they're like, okay, we get a rebuttal. I'm like, no, not at all. But yeah, I think beer pong is one of those games that just always connected with me because I randomly got good at it, right? But then the one thing I can never do, I can never hit last cup. I can hit every single cup. I could bounce the ball to get us 3 cups ahead. But right when that's just that last cup, don't even ask me.
See, for me, it's actually I wouldn't have that problem usually, but just recently I've just been playing a lot more. I don't know why we've just been more infatuated with playing beer pong lately, but I've actually been hitting the last cup a lot more lately. I would re-rack. So our house rule, we only have one re-rack. That's our house rule. You can only have one re-rack. After that, no more. Fair game. When I was playing with my cousin over, I think it was like last weekend we played, and he pretty much had, I think, like a 6-cup lead on me, and I needed to sink like 2 right away just to like catch up. So I sunk 2 and I got my rebuttal, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna re-rack. So I re-racked it to a diamond. So it's the top, bottom, and then the left and right, right? Obviously, yeah. So he already called it even before I made the shot because he knew like I was already gonna make this. So I was like, I'm gonna have balls back. So I fucking hit the left and right, and they both sunk in, and I got my rebuttal, and I was like, game over. And I hit the top and the bottom, and I got both my balls. So that was game over.
For anyone listening, I can honestly tell you that was Augie's hero moment. Like, he was that guy. He was the main character. Like, if it was a movie, he would turn around and there'd be an explosion in the background.
It's confetti, just playing music, you know, John Cena's theme song. Do, 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 do.
Nope, not even John Cena's theme song. He thought he was Iron Man. He sunk it and he was like, turned around and explosions in the background, walked away like it never happened.
Yeah, he's not wrong. I totally am that guy.
I think one thing with beer pong, I start to love hate it at a point. I think the reason is just because there's times where people want to play me, and I'm not the best, but like I can say like I'm pretty good to the point where I could win at least 4 out of 6, right?
I think it's just because the way, not like the only you trash talk, but I think you're just a very like social type of guy to talk to, and like you're pretty cool to hang with. So that's probably why they want to be playing you a lot.
No, it's 100% because I talk so much shit.
For me, it's the complete opposite. I think they just want to play other people. And like they would rather have me on their team, if anything, if it's usually a 2v2. But I suck for them. I cannot do 2v2s as good as I can do solos.
When every time I play, I don't talk in the beginning. Then as soon as I see you shoot, regardless if I know you're better than me or not, I will. That's how I learn how to talk my shit. Like, you know, in any game, like you strategize. So you wait the first couple rounds. Like, no matter if you're not hitting anything, then you get into their head. Like, you have to just look them straight into their soul and be like, hey, that was a great game. Even though I haven't made a single cup and they're down to 3 cups, I will look you straight in the eye. I will get into my mama mentality and I'll just be like this, good game. And then, yeah, not every time I would win, but majority of the time I would bring you back each time. Because I remember this one time I was at my friend's bachelor party and that's all we did. We rented out an Airbnb. Like, yeah, we went out every now and then, but beer pong would be where we started the morning and how we ended the day each time. Then there was one night I just kept talking so much shit to the groom, and he would not let me play. He would not let me go to sleep until he beat me.
Jesus.
We played at least 10 games, and by the time we finished and he finally beat me, I looked and it was 4:00 in the morning.
Oh my God.
As soon as he beat me, he didn't want to take the win. He was like, all right, I can beat you one more time. I'm like, nope, absolutely not. And I called it a night.
See, I get hungry in the middle of the night. I can't do that, dude. I would have to just cut the game and be like, hey, yo, I want some Mickey D's at 3 a.m. to get a cheeseburger.
Dude, I couldn't even do it anymore. I was so tired. Like, I couldn't even shoot anymore. I would launch the ball in the air and it would hit the wall. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not even looking anymore.
Yeah.
And then the way you can tell I'm done playing is just I just stopped talking shit.
We've never played against each other in beer pong.
I think we had... No, we haven't. I went to your party, but then I never played. I was just watching.
Yeah. And then when we come to your party,
I watched you play.
You watched me play, and I think just one of our friends just beat me. And that was... To be fair, we all have been drinking already. I was like...
And you were tired because you had to work early in the morning that day.
No, I worked early the next morning.
Yeah.
So we had an associate party, and then we were up until 3 at my house at the after party.
And
then I had work
what was your cutoff time for that party for yourself?
Cutoff time was supposed to be 1, and I stopped at 3:30 because I had work at 8. It was great. Good times. Good times. Good times. Dude, have you ever played this one game? Because this is actually one of my favorite party games to play now. One of my boys showed this to me. It's more of like a sipping game, right?
Okay.
It's called Ride the Bus. And I like it because it's just a simple card game. So you get a deck of cards. I think you could play to about up to 8 people, I think. So how it works is in the beginning, there's 4 rounds. So how does it work? So you guess the color, right? So it's either red or black. Mm-hmm. So each time you get any of this wrong, you take a sip or you give a sip, right?
Yeah.
So let's say if you ask me and I say red and the card comes up red, I'm like, okay, Augie, take a sip. So you get to drink. Next round is you guess higher or lower. So if I have a 2, I'm not going to guess lower for obvious reasons, right?
Yeah.
So that's how you want to strategize in the game. So I'll say higher. So I get like, let's say if I get a 10, right? Mm-hmm. Then I can give another drink. Third round is you say inside or outside, meaning in between the cards or outside. So if I have a 2 and a 10, I have a likely chance of getting a card inside than out. So I'll say inside, right?
Yeah.
So let's say if I got a king, I'm like, okay, I had to drink now. The last leg of it is just you guess the suit. So by then, majority of the deck is already out, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to guess like spade, diamond, heart, and all that. Am I missing one? Spade, diamond, heart.
Jack, king, queen.
No.
Ace, right?
No, the suits of the card.
Oh. There. So clover, right? Spades, diamonds.
Anyways, moving on. So that's how you do it. The final round's where it gets intense, mm-hmm. right? So you set up, you keep all your 4 cards, and you set lines of the card 4 by 4, right? Mm-hmm. So first row is if you have this card, you give a drink. So let's say if in that row of 4 you flip it over and there's at least 1, 2, you give a drink to somebody, right? Mm. Or like let's say if you have a 2 and you see in that first row there's 2 2s, you give 2 drinks. Okay. Then the next line you take 2 drinks. So regardless, like if you have the card, you have to drink. Third row is you give a drink again. Well, you give 2, 3 drinks again. Then the last row is you give 3 or 4 drinks. Jesus. So it's like one of those games like.
And are they like full on like beer like cups?
No, you don't have to. You just sip.
Oh. Okay.
So it's like one of those games like you can play for a really, really long time.
I was like, I don't drink that much, so I would be dead within the first.
It's like one of those games where it's like, let's say no one's talking anymore, yeah. Or like it's kind of like the mood's kind of getting like weird. Like you just play that game, so like you get everybody amped up again. That's what I like about it. It gets everybody talking.
That's cool. That's what's up. I've never played it, never heard of it. So I mean, like the way you explained it, I got some of it, but I'm like a little confused about it. But I mean, that's like something I feel like I'm like more of a hands-on person. So like if you were to do it, I probably would learn it a lot better.
It's it is one of those games you kind of just have to play it just to do it, because I didn't even know how to play it when we first played it. But like it gets interesting, it gets fun. Dang, party games are fun, man.
Yeah, party games.
There's tons we can talk about. All right,
especially with the right people. It's like you gotta always have the people that are like highly intrigued. If you just have like a downer that just doesn't want to like do it, you're just like I'm trying to find fun here, bro.
So yeah, dude. I know that we've known each other for so long, but then what do you think kind of connected us here today?
I think what really connected us here, I mean, like, is just playing video games in general. Because, I mean, that's how, like, we just talked to each other was I wanted you to, like, I needed more players to play in gaming. So I played Valorant, so I needed, like, more Valorant gamers. Because me as a beginner, like, when I was playing Valorant, I, like, sucked. I was, like, Iron 3 or, like, Bronze 1 at the time. And I think it was like the perfect time. I think you were like also like working as an admin at the job that we were at. And then.
So backstory, me and Augie met because we worked together. How we really became good friends and how this podcast became to be was because he invited me to play video games. He shot his shot and look where we are now.
Shooting this podcast for all of y'all listening, and thank you guys.
So just know, shoot your shot. It will always work.
Hey, I wasn't trying to get in your pants. I just tried to get you to play with me. That's it.
Disclaimer. He was.
I mean, you were a handsome guy. You had your little samurai tail growing in the back, so I can't even say anything, all right?
I think just the man bun look for anybody shouldn't be done anymore.
I don't know. If I had rocked the man bun, I would look good with it, especially with the body I have. I mean, see him trying to picture that, so you're already laughing.
Dude, what would you say is your all-time favorite video game? Like, what's, like, the video game, like, like, the franchise or the game, like, what, like, made you a gamer?
100%. It's got to be like Marvel vs. Capcom or Smash Brothers. Like, honestly, I think those games are like very iconic, very significant. For like Marvel vs. Capcom, obviously you have your superheroes, bro. You got Spider-Man, Venom. You got Wolverine, like those big guys against like Ryu and Ken, Akuma, like those characters from Capcom, or even like other ones from like the Dark Stalkers. I don't know if you know those characters, but like Morgan and all those guys.
We also forgot Mega Man. If you guys are listening, how do
Mega
you
Man
forget
2,
Mega
yeah.
Man?
Mega Man games were also goated, also playing in PlayStation like arcade games. But yeah, like those games, like I was very intrigued with them because I would go to like a pizza place or like doing laundry, right? And their arcade machines would be there because my mom would be doing laundry. We couldn't afford a laundry machine at the time, but we would go to our laundromat and I would wait and I'd be super bored. So then we would just be like the laundromat and I would be playing it. And then within that laundromat, there'd be like Marvel's Capcom 1 or Marvel's Capcom 2. And those were the two like significant games I would play. I would pick Mega Man, Wolverine, and Spider-Man. Like significantly, I would always choose those three. And if I was feeling a little risky, I would choose Ryu and then double Wolverine or Venom and Spider-Man.
Dude, I just played the game recently. I remember me, my wife, and my brother-in-law, we were going to go see the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Great movie, by the way.
Great movie. Love it. For anyone who doesn't know, big Spider-Man fan.
Literally got a tattoo on his right arm.
Yeah. Anyways, but I remember as we were waiting for my brother-in-law, I saw the Marvel and Capcom machine. I was like, oh, I haven't played in so long. And I was dog shit, bro.
Oh, no,
like I couldn't.
It's so challenging,
dude,
bro.
I forget that the dash is so weird, and to cancel it out into a move is ridiculous.
No, it's a very complex input. Like, if you really want to get into the fighting scene for that shit is crazy.
Dude, then I lost my mental so bad that I forgot how to switch characters in between.
Oh, it's just left punch and then light kick sometimes. I think it's just between those two.
I just couldn't remember just because I haven't played on a dual stick in so long.
I love using the arcade stick. I use most of my fighting games on arcade stick, except obviously Smash, which I talked about earlier.
Dude, and it was so bad I picked the weirdest combination. I chose Ryu and Spider-Man.
I mean, those are a pretty good combination.
I know,
like,
but
use a
then
blaster and then use a guy that's up close. But Ryu can actually balance out to up close too as well.
Well, I think it's just because Ryu, when it comes to any Capcom game, it's just he's the generic fighter to pick. The most generic fighter to pick.
Yeah. I mean, he's like a big standout character for like Street Fighter series.
What do you what is like a current game you're playing now?
So Metal Gear. So that connects back to Smash because he's one of my mains in Smash. And I remember him getting announced in Brawl. So, like, that was hype. Like, no one expected something like Metal Gear to be introduced in a kid's game. Like, they call it a kid's game, but let's be honest here, it's not a kid's game anymore.
Disclaimer, remember, back in the day, it was made for kids, but it was really for adults.
Yeah, but so Snake getting introduced was very hype. Just, like, imagine him just blasting Nikita, like, the missile launcher, at Mario. Like, Mario, the Italian plumber.
I think that's what kind of makes Smash goated. It just brought so many different characters into one game.
And the fact that the Ultimate just did the impossible and brought all the characters back from all the games growing up. Like, I don't know how hyped that was when that happened. Like, I'm a big, like, Smash player. Like, I love playing Smash. Like, my main is Falcon through and through since, like, the first one. When Falcon first got announced, I've used him. Played F-Zero games and played him throughout all the games. And then when Snake got announced in Brawl, I had to switch from Falcon to Snake. And using Snake was so fun. Especially when like they introduced like specials, like the ultimates. So you could like missile launch them.
I like how you went from a full-on brawler character to a more setup character.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, because like speed was like the thing. Like I never had speed growing up. So that's why it was more significant and iconic for Falcon. And plus he was like really cool and very powerful at the time. Then they introduced a shadow character, was like Ganondorf, obviously, and they had like almost similar moves, but
Ganondorf is a little too slow for me, though.
He's slow, but he's very powerful.
Well, yeah.
And it's just like it seeps a badassery when you like spike someone with Ganondorf, or you get a sick kill with Ganondorf.
I think that's why I always try to pick a faster character. Like if I were to pick Sonic against him, okay, you're kind of OP against him, but I get so mad right when he catches me. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, you're pretty mad.
I'm like, this is happening. I'm getting knocked down.
But yeah, so Metal Gear is like the current game that I'm playing right now. So at the time of this recording, we're pretty much Metal Gear Solid Delta remake. The number 3 is getting a remake. It's not even a remaster. Like a remaster would be like HD, like how they had it already, right?
And are they remastering it for Steam?
They are remastering it for PC. So they're remastering it for PC, Nintendo Switch, Xbox. Oh no, it's wrong. The remaster is not coming for Switch. It's actually coming for just PC, Xbox, and PS5, right? The new ones. But the collection is coming out for Switch, so anybody that's actually trying to get into it, I would suggest it. Try to be into it around October. That's when it's gonna release. They're definitely iconic games. I've never played the first one. I actually started with Metal Gear Solid 2. That was my first introduction to Metal Gear. And the character of Snake was very iconic at the time because it was just like it's a guy with the bandana, right? It's like with his little ashy beard and everything, and his voice was sounded like this, Otacon type of thing.
One more time.
Otacon. But like growing up with those characters, like they were like, oh, they're so cool. Like it's stealth mission. You pretty much have to go through this like gap of a tanker, like at the submarine, and then within that submarine, you pretty much have to like on the ship, you have to like take pictures of like the new Metal Gear weapon. And that was like significant. The second one.
What do you think is like three significant things to you that makes Metal Gear your favorite game at this moment?
So for me, I think number one is the characters. I think all characters are very lovable. Like you got like the actual like current like Otacon, basically the person that helps out Snake. He's like a scientist. He met on the first one, and then like the relationship has grown. As for like iconic main characters like Snake, like Snake's character is iconic. All right, everyone knows, like most people like know Snake. Same thing with Raiden, which a lot of people were angry about when the second one came out because nobody knew. Fun fact: nobody knew that it was like only supposed to be Snake or just Snake. Everyone thought it was just gonna be Snake for the second one. Even the creator Hideo Kojima actually put a trailer just for Snake, and then when the game came out and they showed that it was mostly Raiden gameplay, everyone was upset. But Raiden has become a very significant character because he had his own spin-off game of Metal Gear Rising, and that's a slice and dice type of game.
And that's one of the games like it's for more of the people who still like the Metal Gear Solid series, but then want less complicated things.
Yeah,
I will always say that the hack and slash, like you have to be good, but you don't have to really think.
Yeah, it's like a more like a Devil May Cry type of thing. Like you don't have to be good to know how to hack and slash, but if like you can hack and slash with style with like as much with that gameplay, it's a pretty fun game. Yeah. So the iconic characters, and probably the last thing would probably like my favorite thing is just honestly just the completion of the series. Like I honestly can't say there's like one bad game into that series. They're all like pretty good. Like I enjoy every one of them. Like the first time I played the first one, like I was getting angry with the controls because it was old, fashioned. Like obviously I wouldn't play with it. But once I actually got used to the controls and actually playing it, the storyline was so good, especially at the time. It was mostly just like a movie playing in a game. At PS1, I may say. PlayStation 1. So like that's crazy to do. Like
a lot of the earlier PlayStation games were kind of ahead of its time. It's like they were mainly based on all story games, which was kind of what made PlayStation goated to me.
Yeah, and like Kojima was just a genius with just doing that with the first game. And they filmed it like near a highway, so most of your audio tracks you can hear the highway going off. So it's crazy like to think like that. And then the second one was great because it was more advanced, so you got to do the first person point of view. There were some weapons that were introduced and more mechanics, so it was pretty fun, like collecting dog tags. That made the game much more fun and much more challenges to do. And then you get the third one, which gets the original story of how Snake became to be. Spoiler alert for other people that don't know, but there's multiple snakes. I don't know if you know that.
There is multiple snakes.
Yes, there's multiple snakes.
I actually learned that off of TikTok.
So the third one is the actual original Big Boss. That's the original Snake. The second one and the first one are with Solid Snake, and that's like the iconic everyone knows it's Solid Snake. And then he has his rival brothers, which are Solidus and Liquid. But yeah, but just so far the story's complicated as hell now. But it's a good game to play with. Like you can literally play at any time, any moment. Luckily, the Steam Deck is now like a thing, so you can play like even on the go.
Whoever wants to buy me a Steam Deck, I'll love you for the rest of your life.
So now enough of my games. Like, what are like significant games for you? Like, what are your all time?
It's funny because like when we talk about your gaming and my gaming is a little bit different. So my all time favorite game, no matter what, will always be the Pokemon franchise. Why? It's one of those things like my family didn't grow up gaming like that. Like, yeah, we would play like party games and stuff like that, like Mario Party or Mario Kart, or even what's another one? On the Nintendo 64 was Pokemon Stadium. Like games like that is what we would play.
Party game part.
But when it comes to like FPS shooter games or even Smash, like none of us would really play it like that. So I would only get to play any video games if it's just a solo game. And Pokemon was one of those games I brought everywhere with me, in the car, at night when I had to wait for the street light to hit my Game Boy
Oh
so I
my
could
God,
see it
dude.
all.
Yeah, dude. I had like, I remember significantly my mom bought me like that tool that comes in with the Game Boy Color to like light it up.
Oh,
and play.
100% you had to get that.
No, for sure.
But I kept losing it
Oh,
every
that's
time.
tough. No, my mom always kept mine. She just keep it safe.
But yeah, and it's like even till now, it's like one of those games like I'm comfortable with. Like I know how the game works, even if it's like a newer franchise. I mean, a newer generation where I don't know every Pokemon, but I know how the game works because then the mechanics of it's never changed. It's just pick your starter. All right, cool. What is this week against? Oh, cool. They introduced stuff like Mega Evolution. Ah, cool. What is that thing that they did in Violet and Scarlet? Where crystallization. Like crystallization will make this Pikachu into a rock type. What? And it's just like one of those games like you could mix and match it so many times, and it's never ending. Like no matter
become
what.
more custom for sure, like IVs and all that good stuff that like a lot of people are getting really into.
And it's like one of those games like I know you and me, like we even play Pokemon a little bit differently. Like you will train your Pokemon to have like more stats here and there, right?
Yeah.
Like there's times like I will do that too, but then I also just want to get through the game because I like to speedrun the first round. Then I like to pick my team so I can go through the Elite Four and the gym battles one more time, but with an OP team.
That's how it used to be until I got introduced to the shiny runs. That's when everything changed for me.
Shiny runs take way too long for me. I still have never done it. I think I did it once and then I hated my life.
Well, I'm still doing one currently, and that's Pokemon Diamond right now. I'm still trying to get that shiny Piplup as we speak right now.
It's good luck.
Yeah.
You're not going to finish anytime soon.
1080 resets or something like that.
Couldn't do it. I think the last time I really tried to shiny hunt, I was playing Pokemon Violet, and I saw a shiny Voltorb, and I was like, "This Voltorb looks weird. Why is it blue?" And I was like, "Oh shit, it's a shiny!" I ran towards it right away, and then as soon as I got it, I threw. I think all I had was Ultra Balls. I threw it, and it jiggled 3 times, and right when I thought I was gonna catch it, it released itself and it killed itself. I was like,
Self-destruct.
ah.
Yeah, Voltorb is definitely very hard to like collect on shinies just because they destruct themselves. Same thing with what's that one? Brock's Pokemon.
Oh, Golem is one of them too.
Golem is
That can
definitely one of them.
self-destruct.
Self-destructs, yeah. But no, like one of his like pre-evolution forms.
Not Geodude.
It is Geodude.
Is it Geodude?
Geodude
Okay.
cannot self-destruct because that's what my brother used to do. We would you would chain to them and they would self-destruct.
The self-destruct. But then what people don't know, you can equip an item to where you'll at least have 1 HP and it screws them over.
That's terrible.
But yeah, it's one of those games to me, like it's just nostalgia in general.
Any specific Pokemon like that's like stands out for you out of all of them?
A Pokemon I think that would stood out for me the whole time will always be like Snorlax. I think it's just because it kind of fits my nature. Like if you ever meet me in person, I'm always a guy who's always sleepy, who's always tired, who always needs a nap, and can eat like nothing.
For sure, Snorlax is definitely a goated Pokemon. You know he knows 6 moves, right?
What it is?
He knows 6 moves.
Name it.
And he knows Slam. He knows like, well, I mean, like obviously there's like a lot of moves you can name, but like in this show, like in the actual anime, it's proven that Snorlax knows 6 moves.
Only 6?
No, he knows like obviously more, but like a Pokemon's only that can only learn 4 moves.
4
if
moves,
you really
yeah.
learn, yeah. Like
That's
he knows
true.
6. It's proven like in a video. Like it's a funny video. I would definitely recommend watching it.
I just think it's hella funny how he knows how to use Solar Beam. I'm like,
Yeah.
excuse me?
Yeah, Solar Beam.
I remember when I first saw that, I was like, okay, we're just making stuff up now. That's cool.
Yeah. Did you know Charizard can also use Solar Beam?
No.
Yeah. When he's, I think it's a Mega Evolution, you can actually use
Which one?
Solar Beam. Not
The one in
black
X or the one in Y?
The one in Y. I think.
Oh,
the
the
white
weird-
one is the one where he's like,
Orange.
Yes, that
The
one.
weird looking one.
yes, because he has that grass type, and so he's able to use Solar Beam.
Yeah. See.
It's
That's
pretty funny that
that's
you-
one of the series I kind of skipped over.
So which Pokemon series are we was the one most iconic to you? Was it like Blue, Red? Was it like Diamond, Ruby? Like for me, it'd be Ruby. Like I feel like that was the most significant for me.
For me, it's that generation too. Like Emerald really got me like into the game. I'm like, this is my favorite game of all time. Like yes, I played Blue, I played Gold and Silver and everything like that. But right when Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire all came out, like that was my favorite series of all time. Like if they remake it, I will buy it again instantly, like in a
it
heartbeat.
was a
Very big hit, especially with the advancement of Game Boy Advance when it first came out. I think was one of the first games that came out with it. So obviously a lot of people were very happy and like was like, whoa, like so much color, so much like things you could do.
And I think it was one of the first games like where they made a 3-part. Like granted, like yeah, you can get the bootleg edition of green, or like you can even get yellow, but yellow didn't connect every game like how Emerald did, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it brought you everything that Ruby and Sapphire had into one game, and that's what I feel like made the game so goated to me. And with the whole franchise, like you didn't have to know how to play Pokemon. Like you just hop in the game. And it's like it's very user friendly.
Dope.
All right, well, enough of that Pokemon. So that was your all-time favorite. I'm pretty sure that's everyone's, a lot of people's all-time favorite.
Anybody. It's
My
like,
older brother for sure he'll name Pokemon.
I don't know anyone who doesn't like Pokemon.
Yeah.
My girlfriend just recently got into it, and like she loves it. Like, I mean, she's known it, but she's never actually played the game.
What is she playing right now?
She was playing Pearl because I had Diamond, so she got Pearl. Yes, so she played Pearl for the first time, and she's like, "Why didn't I play Pokemon before?" And I'm like, "Well, because you didn't have a boyfriend that didn't game before, so I don't know what's your problem."
But I think one that everyone should get into if they've never played the Pokemon franchise is Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. I think those are like the more solid games where it's like it brings you back to Red and Blue, but better graphics and
It's a little easier, a little transition. For
which is
people
weird.
there.
I noticed that too. It is a lot easier to play.
Yeah, and easy to get shinies too.
Yeah, and it's fun just because like all the Pokemons roam around still. Like that didn't happen in Red and Blue. A lot of the iconic characters from the first ones are in there. Has the same exact gameplay, but 100% a lot easier. Because I remember being so frustrated just fighting Misty alone. I wanted to cry because I would always pick Squirtle as my starter. So anytime I got into her gym, I would just get
Demoted.
I would just get DOSed. Like I would like not get through.
Squirrel's cool. I mean,
I know, but then when you're fighting water with water, you're done.
so it's safe to say that Squirtle was always going to be your starter.
Squirtle was always my starter. I think if I were to pick all my favorite starters would be Squirtle, Trico.
Yep. Trico's a good one.
Trico, what's in the Aloha region?
It's the Cineroar.
Yeah, the Cineroar one, whatever
And Rowlet. And then,
that cat, whatever that cat one, like that one. Right when I got to Incineroar, he was goated.
for me, it was Rowlet. I mean, Cineroar was cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna love wrestling, so obviously.
Then, what's another one? Damn, the one with Greninja.
Greninja's like number one right now.
Like he is goated. Like
is
especially when you got into Sun and Moon, and if you got the demo version and they gave you Greninja, dude,
Ash
like
Greninja, to be more specific.
it was so goated. Like no matter what, like it. The thing that sucks is I got through the game so fast because of it. But I was like, oh, I'm kind of sad. But I'm like, I got Ash's Greninja. I could transfer this into any game. But I lost the game, so I couldn't do that. So I was very sad about that. Couldn't even transfer it into the Pokemon Bank.
Yeah. For other people starters, like my brother was Charmander, so that was always his starters. He usually was a fire type, so that's why I picked Squirtle too. Squirtle was also cool. Plus, in the anime when he had his sunglasses with his crew, that shit was good.
Best one. I think that's the biggest reason why I got him. I was like, the Squirtle Squad, bro.
Squirtle Squad.
Dude, how can you not? It's so legit.
Yeah.
But then my favorite evolution was always just Charizard. Like we all know Charizard was the most goated.
I actually really like Blastoise.
I do too, but then it's like when you look at it like stat wise,
No, for sure.
like 100% Charizard the way
The
to
anime
go.
didn't help either. I mean, the anime made Charizard look like a beast, especially how like kind of bitchy he was. Like that was still badass.
Dude, I just thought it was sad. I was like, oh, you guys put Blastoise in the background? Y'all didn't even let Bulbasaur evolve.
Bro.
I was like, come on, dude.
Well, he didn't want to.
I know, but man, he was still goated.
I like
Shout out to
Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur, like the way it is just perfect for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, the all-time favorite game, of course. But what's your current one that you're like into right now? I know you talked about Marvel's Golden Suns for a bit, but what's in it now for you right now?
So I am a really big turn-based player type of person, right? And the company that does Genshin Impact just released a new game called Honkai Star Rail. And honestly, I've been hooked on that game. I don't know if it's the gotcha factor or if it's the RPG factor, but then it's like it's just a really fun game to get into.
I think it's just fun in general for you. I mean, like seeing how you like Pokemon all the time. I think it was just like a nice transition to something new, right?
Yeah, it's kind of nice because it still has all the mechanics of Genshin, but the only real difference is it's just the battle tactics of it. Like it is just turn based instead of hack and slash, but it still has a lot of the same things that Genshin does. Like it has elemental factors. If you stack your team with this, like who is your strongest DPS character, who is your support character, who is your healer, like it has all the aspects like every other RPG has, right? The thing that makes it a little bit better to me than Genshin is that it is a little more new user friendly. In Genshin, like you kind of have to just figure out all your artifacts, this and that, right? That goes to which character. As opposed to this one, like it will tell you like, hey, this item goes to this character, and you can give it to this person, but it won't really do anything. And the progression system for it is the exact same. Like you have to get to a certain level to move on in the story. This and that, just like in every other game.
Got it.
But yeah, like Honkai is what I would say is what I'm hooked on now. Like I just started, like I barely got through the first story, but then it's just I'm at that point now where you have to start progressing in your levels to finish the story.
Yeah. It's
But
like
yeah, dude. Want to play a game?
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, let's bring a couple of people in.
Let's do it.
All right, before we end off each podcast, we like to play a game. The game we're playing right now is going to be Guess That Gamer Lingo.
All right, in this part of this game, we'll be introducing our guest here, Cody. Cody, go introduce yourself.
Hey guys, my name is Cody. I'm also known as SJ Brown Man, San Jose's finest brown person that you're ever going to meet. Very funny, very.
All right, thanks, Cody. So the game that we're going to be playing today is Gamer Lingo. So what this significantly means is that I'm going to introduce 3 words, and you're going to tell me what those 3 gamer words mean to you. Okay?
Aces, let's do it.
All right. So, first word, teabag.
You go up to someone's our body, preferably deceased body, and you slam your nuts on their face, and you just go up and down, just start squatting on them, and yeah.
Yep, that's a pretty solid answer. All right, and word number 2, bots.
All right, so Eric, right? So no, okay. So a bot is basically someone that is doesn't really play the game that well and does basically really noob type behavior. Yeah.
Pretty solid answer. I would say bots are like that,
All right.
especially with Eric.
What?
All right, word number 3, cheesing.
You might have stumped me on this one, Augie. What was the word again?
Cheesing.
Cheesing?
Yeah.
Man.
You want me to use it in a sense like a spelling bee?
Yes, please.
Man, the way the guy used his gun is totally cheesing the game.
Oh, cheesing is like when something is like really cheap.
Yeah.
Something very like, it's like, oh, that's easy,
Solid answer. Yeah, pretty much anything like being cheap or being like overly used and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Cody. You definitely answered all the questions I have.
Thank you for having me. All right.
So shout out to SJ Brown Man. Shout out to Eric.
Yeah, make sure. I was gonna try to say something clever, but it just didn't come to mind.
That's fine.
Okay, introducing our next guest. This is actually my lovely wife. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm Mariel or Marshiann.
Yeah,
Hey.
cool. For everyone who doesn't know, she is a local DJ here in San Jose. You can look her up on Instagram or TikTok under Marshiann _ because for some reason we can't just use the name Marshiann.
It was taken.
Okay, so right now we're going to play a game called Guess That Gamer Lingo. I'm going to name 3 phrases or words, and you just kind of have to just guess what it is, okay?
Okay.
You ready?
No.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead.
So, first phrase, he's cracked.
He's what?
He's cracked.
Cracked? Like he's on crack. Like he's super good.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Sure. Yeah.
That's not it, is it? You're lying to me. Or he's dead.
Next word.
Okay.
Smurf.
Smurf? Like he's small and blue.
I knew it. I knew she was gonna say that. Sure.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's my guess. He's sad that he lost. Smurfs.
Damn. Final word. Heaven.
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
He's in heaven.
Oh, he did. Like he died.
This was a great idea.
3 out of 3.
Do you want me to tell you which ones you got right?
Yeah.
You got none of them right.
No, wrong. So you got the first one right.
You got close. So
Yeah.
he's cracked, meaning it's like, he is really good. In other phrases too, like in Apex, they have shields, right? So you shoot his shield off, and he's cracked now. So now you can just shoot him directly and go for his life.
Oh, yes. That was my second guess.
And a Smurf is just like fake. Like it's like a fake account. Like he has a Smurf account. Like that's just a game like that's an account he just fucks around in.
So like he's professional, but he like.
So it's like, yeah, so like let's say if I'm a level 40 on my account, but for Cody he's a level 4, so I have to make a Smurf account so I can play for people in his level.
But why is it Smurf?
This is like small,
Yeah.
low level. That's just the
Small,
way it
yeah.
is. That's just the
So you kind of got it right,
I'm pretty sure there's
but
an origin to it, but we're not very
Yeah.
into the game really to know about it. But yes, there is an origin.
Okay.
then heaven's just a location. So in any map, if you're looking around,
Oh, he's like up.
yeah, so it's like if there's a stairway and he's up in a balcony, that's heaven. But if he's looking down, it's hell. Or it's just like how we do communications, like where to tell where your opponent's at. Cool. Good job. Good job. All right, and we're back. That was fun, right?
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Mariel's definitely a character.
Yeah. Yeah. She went exactly according to plan. It was great. Augie, what's some future ideas that we're thinking about?
Definitely consoles. Like I don't know. I want to discuss more about consoles.
Dude, we should also just talk about like lifestyles of gaming, because I know myself as a married man, and you and your girlfriend, like we have different times, especially trying to get work together, quality time with them and our families and everything like that.
And then try to play together at the end of the night is always
100%,
hard.
dude.
But we always manage to find a way.
Yeah. I think one thing even that I would appreciate is gamer tips, because there's probably people listening that are new to a game or would like to hear different things from you and I that can help them progress further in their levels or even their skills in general.
Or even for people that just don't game at all, but would like to hear, like, you know, maybe for their boyfriend or significant other, you know.
100%. I know that's exactly what I'd like.
what they're talking about, or like what's hot, you know.
Yeah. Anything else to say?
Nah, I mean, shout out to all the people that's helped with this podcast that we come to. I mean, shout out to Cody, you know, SJ Brown Man, you know, the handsome guy as you saw earlier.
And shout out to my wife, Mariel. She's actually the one who created like our intro and outro music. You can follow us on all social platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter under CoFlop Podcast.
Again, that's Co-Pop Podcast.
Yeah. Follow us. Thank you guys, and hope for you guys to catch us again in the next episode.
Yeah, you guys take care, have fun, and be smooth.